I love you. When they asked my favorite thing about you, I was thinking about how I didn't believe in something or someone like you. You literally are my dream with the way you treat me and the love you give me. It's something I didn't think I'd ever experience. And I'm beyond grateful for you. You make my heart really full. I don't care if we're in the village or if we're in Nairobi or if we're in Greece. It doesn't matter where we are because I've realized I'm really happy when I'm with you. So much so that I don't even want to travel as much because I miss you too much. So I just want to be where you are and you're my home and I love you.
Love you too, honey.
Sweating.
I love you too. I love you so much, baby.
I love you too.
So cute.
I'm Alexys. My friends and family just call me Lex. I'm from Washington State on the west coast of America, and now I live in Nairobi, Kenya.
My name is Teddy Otieno, born in Kisumu, and now I stay in Nairobi, Kenya.
I'm the oldest of 3 siblings. So I have a sister and a brother that are both a couple years younger than me. I grew up with my 2 parents. They still live in Washington State. My sister lives in Hawaii, so she's on an island pretty far away from where we're from. And then my brother's going to school in Washington State as well. I'm really close with them, but my heart just kind of took me other places. And I would say I never really felt at home until I got to Kenya. I felt that much more here than I ever did in the US. But before I came back to Kenya, I was living in Seattle, Washington, and I really love it there. It's a bigger city, kind of equatable to Nairobi, unlike where I'm from, which is a small town called Spokane, Washington. I grew up in a private school when I was young. I went to Eastern Washington University and studied psychology and studio art. I thought I wanted to be an art therapist and I was going to pursue my PhD in that. And then I ended up coming to a university in Kenya in 2019, where I first saw Teddy. And I studied psychology there through study abroad and worked in an orphanage while I was studying here. That's kind of why I came over here. I wanted to do both. And then I went back to the US after my study abroad semester here and did my Master's of Education in School Counseling for 3 years. And then I got my license in mental health counseling. So I started my own business about 1.5 years ago, and I'm a mental health therapist as well as a school counselor.
Oh, nice.
Thanks.
And, how was it growing up in Kenya for me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was born in Kisumu. I have 3 siblings. I have 2 sisters and 1 brother. My brother stays with me in Nairobi. My sister stays in Kisumu. Yeah. And I lived with my 2 parents. I grew up with them. So I went to primary in Arena. People who know that here in Kisumu. Then went to high school in Light Academy, Karen. Then after that, pursued applied computer technology in USIU Africa, where I met Alexys in 2019. Yeah. So currently I went into real estate and yeah, so we pretty much met after all that. Now we are here together. Yeah.
And Alexys, growing up in America, what did you know about Africa before moving to Africa, specific to Kenya?
That's a good question. No one ever asked me that, actually. Spokane, Washington is not very diverse. So the city that I grew up in was primarily white. And I would say that the second largest demographic is maybe Hispanic. But so it wasn't super on my radar except for things through church. Like there were families who had adopted babies from over in Africa. I don't know where in Africa. I'd see videos of Operation Christmas Child, like people sending over gifts during Christmas and those videos, but I wouldn't say I knew anything. They don't teach you the history of Africa in American schools. So I would say I wasn't like educated about the continent or any of the countries themselves. It was when I was in university that I told my professor I really want to go do some philanthropy work somewhere or something humanitarian. She was like, well, why don't you do study abroad and do both? So I went to the study abroad office and the lady was trying to convince me to go to Thailand because she said that's where everyone wants to go. And right below her finger on the screen, it said Kenya. And I was like, no, I'm going to go there. I can't tell you why. I really feel like God led me here because I don't know. There was nothing about my upbringing that would have been like, I'm going there. No one in my family, none of my friends have been even to the continent of Africa. So yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I actually had a couple opportunities in South Africa, something in Indonesia as well, to go like work with kids. And I looked at the program at USIU and talked to the director. They said I could work in an orphanage over here. I kind of volunteered a bit near TRM Drive in an orphanage there, and then I studied psychology here as well. So that's what brought me here. But I didn't know much before coming here.
Okay. Now, which year was that?
2019.
2019. Take us through the journey of you moving from America to Kenya and preparation for the first time in a different continent, knowing no one.
Well, I had to get like 80 vaccines.
Oh,
More like 8, but like in 2 days. I felt bruised. Yeah, I had to get a bunch of vaccines. Of course, the doctors there were like, you need malaria medication. You have to take this every day. I got here and I realized no one actually takes this stuff, and it just makes you feel sick. I didn't do much. It was a very last minute decision. Some of my best decisions have been very spontaneous. And so I was just like, oh, Kenya, yeah, I want to go there. And then I had, I think, 3 months to like just go. And then I just did. I just met the requirements that I needed to get to the country. I knew nothing about it. I just packed like one big suitcase, one small suitcase. Yeah, I just kind of let it be. Like, I feel like that was a time where I really learned to say yes to things. I just started walking through the doors that were being opened.
How was the journey?
On the way?
Yeah.
It's not the most fun flight ever. It's like a 30-40 hour flight, but it was totally fine. I think that was actually the first time I'd been out of the country by myself. Like,
How many countries
had I been to? I've been under 10 countries. At the time, I think I had been out of the country 3 or 4 different countries. I played softball in Italy when I was in high school, and even then my mom went with me to Italy, so I had never been by myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
First impression?
Well, I have very photographic memories, so I remember everything. The first night when I landed, there was no power.
Yeah.
So the airport was dark, and I walk in there, I'm like, I'm glowing, like, compared to everyone. So I was like, wow, okay. And then, of course, I see these guys walking around with massive guns. I'm like, well, that's not normal in America. Like, even the police, they don't carry, like, big guns. So I'd say it was, like, I wasn't worried. I think the thought that went through my head was, if this was anyone else in my family, they'd be freaking out. Like, I need to be calm right now. And I also didn't have phone service because I didn't have like a Kenyan SIM card or anything. So I looked around the airport. I saw a guy in a Baltimore Ravens jacket, and I was like, maybe he speaks English, because I didn't know. And which was an ignorant thought in my mind. Like, I don't know if English is widely spoken here. I only know what Google says. So I walked up to him and I was like, do you speak English? And he was like, I'm from Baltimore. So I was like, oh, okay. So I kind of stuck with him and made it through the airport, got my ride. We stopped at a store that I still remember that night to get food. And I'm kind of a vegetarian, like I don't like a lot of meat. And I've never told you this. There were the little chickens hanging in the window. Ooh. That for me, I just can't do it. When I see the animal, no, so I didn't eat that night. I got to the hostel, there was like no one there because, yeah, so I was living in hostels at the university.
Hostel. That's the same night.
Yeah, there was like no one there because everyone was on break. So I was like one of the first back. Just, I don't know, it was a really weird feeling, but I was just like welcoming everything with open arms. Didn't have any way to communicate with my friends or family because the Wi-Fi wasn't working that night. And I was like, we'll just figure this out as we go. But overall, I actually never experienced culture shock, and I felt so comfortable when I got here because the people and the culture, everyone was just so warm and receptive, and I made really good friends really quickly. So yeah, overall I felt really comfortable.
Okay.
My dad is quite the worrier. He's like the guy who read an article about not using a microwave because it could give you cancer, and we didn't have a microwave in our house anymore. So my dad was really worried about me coming to Kenya, but it's not just Kenya. It would be really anywhere out of the country. Even when I go to Mexico or wherever I've been without them, they're worried. And my brother at the time was actually pretty upset about me leaving. He was pretty young. He was 15 and we're really close. So he was sad that I was leaving. And then my sister was off at college, so she didn't care. It wasn't going to make a difference. And my mom was very level-headed, and we're pretty similar in that way. Just like, why worry about something you don't know what the outcome's going to be? So my mom was pretty supportive of me going.
Now, speak to a student from America who wants to come to study abroad, now here in Africa, what they should prepare for and what to expect, because you did it.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's ever healthy to like have a lot of expectations. I feel like expectations lead to disappointment. If you're open-minded about experiencing things that are uncomfortable, I think you're going to have an experience that fosters growth. Like, that's something that I try to live by, is getting uncomfortable, because I feel like I grow most when I'm uncomfortable. So I kind of had that mindset going into it. I don't think I can't speak to every university, because obviously USIU is very specific and it's different from other universities, even in Kenya. But it's a really beautiful way to just be yourself. Like, no one knows you here. You just get to like be exactly who you are, and the people who are going to be drawn to you are going to be drawn to you because of that authenticity. So I made some of the best friends I've ever made throughout that experience, because I was like, I'm just me. I don't know anyone here. And yeah, so I'd highly recommend. I think study abroad is a really good opportunity to become more cultured and open up your mind to things that you definitely have not seen in America.
Yeah, so I joined in August 22nd, if I'm not wrong, 2019, to study applied computer technology and minor in psychology. So school was, okay, I love playing basketball. I still love playing basketball. So I was all about the basketball court, the experience. I didn't have much friends then at USIU. So
You are from Kisumu.
okay, my school was in Nairobi. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had a few, like 2 other friends who joined with me from my high school. Yeah, so I was looking forward to playing basketball with them. And I'm not much of an extrovert, I'm an introvert, so I didn't also want to make many friends. Yeah. So that week, the weekend was a hostel party, hostel bash. So that's the first time I saw her. But we didn't talk. I was even showing her that video today.
Yeah, we were looking at it this
We were
morning.
looking at it in the morning. Yeah.
He has a video of me from back then.
Like, she was standing in front of me in 2019. Like, I took a video of the cake we were cutting. She was right in front of me. Yeah, that was 29th August. Yeah. Yes, I was telling her, why did you talk to me 5 years ago? Like, we had the chance to talk all the time, but we never talked. Yeah, so school was fun. She used to work out. I used to work out. She used to play basketball. I used to play basketball in USIU, but we didn't really talk. I think, yeah.
Okay. Now, how did you meet, or how did you get to now talk?
Okay, so I'd seen her around school. She'd seen me around school, yes, but we didn't really talk. But fast forward last year, May, that's when she joined. She started using social media. She was not on social media as much.
I've never had it in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. So May, she joined social media, and I think I saw her profile in June 2024. Yeah. Then yeah, I saw her, and I was like, she looks familiar. I'm like, oh, she hasn't changed much since then. I'm like, oh, interesting. But I never make the first move. It's hard for me.
Gross.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
Back to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Finish and then
No, I want her to, yeah, so that she doesn't, yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I saw her profile and I didn't, she's pretty, yeah. Then, honey, you take it from here.
Okay. One day, well, I don't know who followed who.
No, you followed me first.
before following each other,
Yeah.
I would like to come back to you. After school, studying for, is it 4 years? You studied for
It's 7 years.
7 years.
I did 7
In
years of
USA.
schooling.
No, not
No,
USA.
I only did a semester.
2
Or
years.
trimester. No,
No, one
like 3
semester.
months, 4 months.
4 months.
I was
Yeah.
only here for 4 months, and then I went back to Seattle to do my
Now
master's.
tell us now after
Okay,
that.
so I went back to Seattle to do my master's. It was a pretty extensive program because it's 3 years. So I was working full time doing that. I looked at doing my master's at USIU because I did not want to leave. Like, I was so sad to leave Kenya. And, because I love it. It was like, I'm telling you, that was the only place I had felt like, oh wow, this is home. I don't want to leave. Because typically I'm an adventurer. I like to go different places. And this was the first time I was like, I want to stay. So they didn't have the program that I wanted, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do for work because during my undergrad, I did my practicum at a middle school, so like ages 12, 13, 14 as a school counselor. And I was like, okay, I think that this is what God has for me. This is where I'm supposed to be. And in order to work as a school counselor in the U.S., you have to have your master's in school counseling. It's very specific, which they don't offer outside of the country. So I was like, let me go back, graduate early. And then I started my master's like 2 months after I graduated undergrad. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't have social media. I think a lot happened in both of our lives during that time. And then I decided I was going to start traveling full time after I opened my business last year and do philanthropy work while I traveled. And I'm really opposed to social media because I've done so much research on the effects of social media throughout my studies. And I don't like being on my phone very much. Like, I really like just talking with people and being active. Like, I can go a long time without my phone. So I was like, ooh, I'm going to need to like swallow my pride and not be so stubborn if I want to reach more people with what I feel like I really want to do with social media. So I just started the accounts and was like, I had several ideas. I was like, I could probably ask if people want to get behind what I'm doing, like send money to help the people that I'm meeting. But I felt wrong about doing that. Like, I don't want to ask people for money. It just feels yucky and I don't want people to think that I'm doing it for money. So I was like, what's a way that I can do it and make money and use the money that I make personally to like give back to the people that I'm meeting. So I was like, I'd need social media to do that. And let's just see where it goes. And if that's what God has for me, then it'll happen. And if not, then it won't. So I started social media in May. And yeah, I recognized him as well when I started my social media. I think like I just followed people that I had mutuals with or that I knew when I started my account. But I didn't like follow him and be like, ooh, we're gonna like end up together at all.
There was no prior intention.
No.
Yeah.
He posted something though. This was the first time we interacted. He had like liked my videos before, but he posted something about mental health and like how he was stressed out about something.
Which social media?
Instagram
story.
And so I like swiped up and just messaged some words of encouragement and I was like, hey, I hope you find some time to be still. Like, I know it's hard to find peace when you're stressed out and you have a lot going on. Something along those lines. Nothing more than friends at all. Like, that was just that.
Yeah.
And then it kind of...
What were you going through that time when you posted about your mental health?
It was just a lot to do with work. And as man, you have, or as someone, a young man growing up, like you are transitioning into manhood. So there's a lot of responsibilities being placed on you.
And Mr. and Miss.
Yeah, and there was Mr. and Miss World Kenya, which I was also doing at the time. So I was also working out in the morning. So I was working out in the morning, early, like 5 a.m., then going to Two Rivers Mall by 8. Then there's the pageant training, the walking, the talking, all that, yeah. So after that, I'm also trying to clients, real estate clients who can buy work. And after that, I would come back, go to the office, stay in the office till late, like 10ish, because I was working there. So it was kind of stressful, like all that, especially the going to Two Rivers Mall, that was too stressful. Yeah, so I never post about stuff when I'm stressed, never. That was the first time I posted and she replied to it. Like, even if you are stressed, just be still, kind of let it pass, but you're still, yeah.
She replied.
Yeah, she replied to the story. Then a lot started after that, yeah. I did posted the video.
Yeah, you'd already liked my video. So I ruptured my Achilles playing basketball on May 27th. And so I kind of I mean, I was supposed to leave for, where was I going first? Dubai.
Oh.
And then I was going to climb Kilimanjaro in June. And then 2 weeks before I was supposed to...
Suppose you're from Seattle,
Yeah.
you're supposed to travel to Dubai,
Yeah,
then to Kilimanjaro.
yeah.
Tell us about that.
It's just random. I was like, I'm going to go travel around Africa, Asia, South America while I have this leave and while I work remotely. And I looked at round like flights out of Seattle that were the least expensive. They got me far away, and Dubai was the cheapest. So I was like, let's go to Dubai first, but then I want to go climb Mount Kilimanjaro. I love hiking, and I also really like making myself uncomfortable. So I was like, this would be a good challenge for me. I lift weights. I'm a spin instructor. I was a personal trainer for a while. So I was like, I'm in shape enough to do this. So I was training for that. And then May 27th, I ruptured my Achilles playing basketball. A man jumped on my leg in Seattle and it just fully split. And so I had to have emergency surgery. All my plans changed. I couldn't walk on my leg for like 2 months. And then even after that, I could only use like a little bit of weight. My leg pretty much looked like a bone by the time I was out of the boot. And so I had been posting about my recovery a little bit. And rather than being really freaking depressed, which would have been easy because it ruined all of my plans, I was like, let me just see what I can do now. So I challenged myself to see what I could do on one leg, even though my doctors hated this. He saw that video and was like, some sort of way about that.
So she's like on one leg and she's playing basketball, she's playing golf, she's doing all these things, she's in the gym. And like, it piqued my interest because that's rare to see like someone who's resilient. I also broke my hand in high school and I was still playing basketball with a cast on my arm. I was like, this is interesting because most people, even guys, would stop doing these things. Yeah, I was like, why does she do all this? So I was kind of interested, just trying to understand how she thinks. Yeah, then that
happened before I messaged you.
Yeah. Then I asked about that later. Yeah, so I found her to be a very interesting person. Like, why do you want to do all these things? Why are you playing basketball? Why are you doing golf? Why do you play softball? Like, why? What is going in your head? Why do you work out? Yeah, so I found her to be a very interesting individual. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now you're chatting on Instagram.
Yeah. More like you. That's such a cringy way to... I mean, we're thankful that we knew each other-ish before that, and we have a lot of mutual friends.
Yeah.
A lot, actually. Like, his friends are my friends from uni. Never talked.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it escalated quickly, I would say.
Very quickly. From 0 to 60.
How now?
He started saying to me, he said one day, I feel like we could do a lot together, and I was like, what does that even mean? Like, I had no idea. I was actually with my best friend that day. I was like, what does this mean? Like, is he interested in me? She was like, obviously. I was like, no, I don't want to like think that and then be wrong. So I pretty much just asked him
And you asked him.
what he meant by that.
Yeah, what I meant by we can do a lot together. And I wasn't particularly clear. I was just like, nah, I feel like we can do a lot together. Yeah, because
What is a lot?
Yeah, thank you.
a lot is wide. but yeah, I wanted to leave that sense of mystery for her to think and start to wonder, what am I saying? Yeah, but I also felt like we could do a lot because the things she does, the things I do. Yeah, and I felt like we could do, if we came together, we could do a lot, or we are like-minded in a lot of ways, and I feel like it would help both of us grow. I didn't even think she'd come to Kenya then. That was not in my mind. I was just like, we could do a lot together. Just to try to, you know. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And then?
And then he pretty much expressed like wanting to be together. Like, I don't know, we'd talk a lot about everything.
Yeah, on phone calls you could go for like 4, 5, 6 hours.
Yeah.
Just talking on call, yeah.
And I knew I was coming back to Kenya. Like, I knew, because my heart had always been here, and we've talked about this now. I felt like I was leaving something the last time I didn't think it was him. And then now that I've got back, I'm like, okay, yes, I love Kenya, but I really think I missed it because like this was where I was supposed to be and this is the person I was supposed to be with. And yeah, so I was like, you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do. I knew I wouldn't be cleared till December because my surgeon said 6 months to a year till I could like walk well and run. I literally just tried running for the first time yesterday since May.
Yeah.
So that was like exciting. But a lot happened when I had to go move back in with my family this summer. My mom had to help me shower. Like I couldn't do anything by myself. And I've been independent since I was 18. I was living on my own or with friends. So that was really hard for me. And he was like a great support through that actually. And I was like, you know what, when I can walk, maybe I start in Kenya. But I was like, but I'm going to be traveling a lot. So like, do you want to do long distance? Or do I maybe wait to go to Kenya until after I go travel? Because we knew what this was going to be. It was like, okay, there's no avoiding. If we're in the same place, we're going to be together. And he was like, no, it's fine. I still want to be with you. Like, I want to be with you now. So you can still go travel and whatever, but I want you to come here. So I actually ended up leaving before my surgeon cleared me in August. And my surgeon was less than pleased. But I was like, I can do this on my own because all the physical therapists were giving me were exercises I already know as having worked as a personal trainer anyways. And they said I was making progress faster than anyone that they'd seen before. And I was very determined to do such a thing because I was maintaining my strength, lifting weights, doing all these things that like people thought I was crazy while I was doing it. So I came.
Which month now?
September 6th.
Last year.
Yeah.
This last year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, all right, like if I'm going to come here, you're going to help me walk again and run because I can't do this on my own. And he was like, yep, I got you. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Atieno, where were you living and what were you intending to do when she comes and join you?
Okay, yeah. So when Lex came to Kenya, I was staying in Nairobi. Then I'd never been in a relationship before actually, because I'm very serious about relationship. I'm very particular. I don't like wasting my time. Like if I want something with you, I don't want to waste time or like, like I'm in this and you're in this and you're together. Like there's a lot of things to do in life, a lot of goals to achieve. So people waste a lot of time in that and don't like wasting time in that particular way. So this was kind of crazy for me too.
Kenyan?
Yeah? No.
Relationship?
No. I've never been in a relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So going from 0 to 60, like me not being in a relationship to having a girlfriend who's staying with me from America. Yeah. It was a bit wild. But I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. And before I even talked to her, I'd kind of assessed because I have to look at your character-ish. And she's a lot like me in very many ways, even from the mental health perspective, because I also did a minor in psychology, and I try to, over time, I want to also help or impact the men's mental health arena. So a lot of the way she thinks would be helpful to men to know, like being still, that's very important. Like life is tough. You have to learn to be still no matter what. Yeah, so a lot of the way she thinks and a lot of the way I think really clicked. Yeah, so I was like, okay. And there's also something called the archetype. As much as she's feminine, she works so too. So it's a perfect balance of masculine and feminine. Also me, as much as I lift, I box, I do play basketball, all that, there's still some element.
Softie.
Yeah, you still have to be kind, help people, be soft still. And I saw that in her. So that's a good balance. And for you to become that, you must have some maturity. Yeah, which comes with life. Yeah, I was like, I feel like I can do life with her. Yeah, even from the fact that we can go out together, do a lot of activities together. So I was like, okay, God, let's see where this goes. And before then, I talked to her dad on phone, her grandma.
Her dad, right?
Yeah, her dad, yeah. So recently I talked to her brother, I talked to her mom. Yeah, so, but before she came, I talked to her dad. Her dad was really nice.
What did you tell him?
It was like, take care of my daughter, I'm giving you my present, giving you a gift, to ensure take good care of her. And I know even him as a dad, he looked at me, and I feel like you can tell someone's character from a conversation. Yeah, so I felt like he trusted her, and he trusted
My
me.
judgment, yeah.
Yeah, he trusted her judgment, like why she took interest in me. Yeah, and just kind of let Lex come and see everything.
Well, he can't let me. Okay, to be clear.
Okay, he's independent. Sorry, yeah.
But yeah, he was as supportive as a dad can be. Me going to stay with someone who he's never met.
How was the reaction?
It was, my aunts were a little worried about it. My best friend though, like she was the one who knew everything, and she was like, no, this is your person, from everything that I was telling her. Like, I didn't even think I could ever be with someone like him, and I had gotten to a place, I told my dad about a year ago, and I was like, Dad, I think I'm gonna die alone, and that sounds like a joke, but I was like, it's not for a lack of options, it's just like I wasn't seeing anything that I really want, and I didn't feel like that connection, like this is God's person for me, and I wasn't gonna settle for anything less than that. I even tried so hard not to love him.
Yeah, I'll tell her I love you, and she did not reply.
I wouldn't say it back.
I'm like, okay, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried not to.
But everything you did showed you did, like getting.
I
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
And did you inform your parents?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I told my dad, and I'd never told my dad about having a girlfriend before. We are close. I tell him everything. I tell my mom everything. Then I tell them I have a girlfriend. They're like, how? Like, when? Then I show them a picture, and like, Teddy. Like, yeah, like, what is going on? I'm like, yeah, I studied with her in uni, and we are setting something very serious, and I want to see where it goes. And I feel like I trust my judgment on this, and I think it will go okay. My mom and everyone, that's when we started doing TikTok together and everything. So they were seeing a lot of the things you're doing. No, they're not even seeing. People are showing them, like, isn't this your son? Yeah, like everyone
People
from
coming to his
church.
grandma's church. Have you
Like,
seen?
have you seen your son? Have you seen your grandson? I'm like, okay, interesting. Yeah, but yeah, they took it well, and they were not sure because I don't mean to say I do crazy things, like coming from going to high school. I went to high school on full scholarship. Like, I've done a lot of things which they would not expect me to do. So they're kind of like, okay.
He does big things, but there's always a lot of wisdom and intentionality. And like, obviously, he was very discerning enough to never have had a girlfriend before. Like, that's very abnormal. I cannot say the same. So that was like, I think they just knew, oh, if he's interested in someone, like,
And it's actually
you're
serious.
serious.
Yeah. Yeah, because if it's a matter of just having a girlfriend, I could have a girlfriend so easily. To SIU, yeah, very easily.
Alexy, did you had a boyfriend in America?
Yeah, I've had a few really serious relationships, and they were all pretty long. Like my longest was 6 years, and they were not healthy. So that's why I had gotten to a place where I was like, ugh, let me just be by myself. Like, I want to heal and I want to be alone. I'd rather be alone than feel lonely in a relationship. That's like an epiphany that I had. And so I was single for about a year before Teddy popped up.
And when you came to study in USA, you got a boyfriend? Maybe?
I was single actually at that time, yeah. So I had been in a relationship, and then I felt like it wasn't great, and so I had ended it and was at USIU. And while I was at USIU, I was single. Like, I'd be lying if I said there was nothing ever during that time. But no, I never had a boyfriend.
Okay. And now studying in America and in Africa, Kenya to be specific, is there any difference of schools?
I thought school here was harder, actually. Even though the school I went to was a United States accredited university, so my credits just transferred back over. I felt like the testing was a little bit harder. I'm like looking at you like you've not. I don't know. It was kind of intense, actually.
It is intense.
Yeah, and he took the same classes as me, actually.
The thing is, people say USIU, people don't, like, it's easy. but it's totally the opposite. It's a lot of exams, a lot of tests, and they assess whether you attend class. So it's a lot of things they look into.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. In the US, no one's gonna notice if I don't go to class. There's no attendance. So like, I didn't go to class often. And then at USIU, it's like, oh, I'm losing points if I don't go to class. So yeah, I'd say it was harder actually going to school here. They take it more seriously, which says a lot.
Okay, so when she landed at the airport, I talked to her dad. I texted him. He sent me, what's it called, thing of your flight? And I was just tracking her flight so that I would know when she gets there. So I got from here, went to the airport, got her, which was very, I want to say weird.
I'm actually shocked that we're even telling this. We haven't told anyone this on social media.
That's why I'm sweet.
You're getting, you're special.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's someone I've last seen 5 years ago. Then I'm seeing her now. She's my girlfriend. I've never had a girlfriend before. And I'm like, you know, sometimes you see someone, okay, sometimes you think you like someone in person, but you don't like them. Or maybe they see what they did not expect to see. You see something like that. So there's some tense moments of tension where it's like, I'm seeing her, I like her. Does she feel the same-ish? But her reaction was,
cute.
but her reaction was warm, like she was so happy to see me.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do.
I already knew. I just knew. Like the fact that he told me I love you before I even got there, it was like, well, either way, we're going to figure this out. 'Cause it might be kind of weird. Like, yeah, we were just around one another. We lived in the same hostels. We'd play basketball at the same time, but we were never interacting with one another. So even just like touching him or anything, it's like, oh, wow, this is going to be... I didn't get nervous. And I actually journaled on the plane. I was like, is something wrong with me that I'm not nervous right now? And we walk out of the airport and he's just waiting there. He was just waiting there and I was like, all right, let's go home. Yeah, it was really natural.
Yeah, then he came home, then zero, like, okay, just...
Now you're in the same house, living together.
Same house living
It's so
together.
easy.
Yeah.
Like, it has been every day. We just get along. We just are so similar. Like, there's hardly any differences that we have. So it's like this, okay, and a really big similarity is how we direct our energy. We're both very calm, chill people, and we communicate really well with one another. So there's never been anything that's come up with living together, like, oh my gosh, you left something like this. We would like happily just take care of it for each other. I think there's just a lot of love and respect between us. So everything's been really
smooth. Yeah, you know that their siblings always like, oh, if I did this now, you can't, like, now I can't do this today. Just pretty much we are stepping into each other's shoes always and just trying to be empathetic towards each other, do for her what I don't have to do for me, and her the same. So it's a lot of love, respect, and empathy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And being from different backgrounds, did you ever face challenges in your relationship, and how did you overcome it, like cultural challenges?
I won't say, okay, she normally says when she came to Kenya, she didn't have a culture shock. She had the culture shock when she went back home. So
Was it?
Yeah, I felt so depressed when I went back to America after I'd been here because I felt so happy here. And then I was like, oof, like I'm just back to America. I don't know. It's just not my place. Like, yeah, go ahead.
What made you think that you were happy here?
I felt it. Like I felt so fulfilled and full, and honestly, I had less than what I had in America. I had a suitcase and I was living in a hostel where there was bats and roaches on my bed. Like that was like, no one would view that as, oh, life is so much better if you saw my life there. And I just felt like it was so much more full. And I think primarily it was because of the friendships that I made. I think you've seen one of my friends from Uganda in my YouTube. Like, yeah, that's been one of my best friends since USIU back in 2019. Yeah. So I've maintained a lot of the same friends. Yeah, it was mainly the friends, and I just love the culture here. It's not as warm in America, especially in Seattle. There's this thing people know as the Seattle freeze, and they don't say it because of the cold weather. They say like people are not as friendly and warm there because it's very business minded in Seattle, not so family oriented because it's a very big city. So yeah, like even when I first started meeting people here, I'd be like, oh, hi, go to shake their hand and they go for a hug. I'm like, oh, like that's not normal in America. We shake hands. We don't hug.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ever faced like challenges for culture?
I would say yes. Like, okay, not between he and I. Because I think that even though we come from very different backgrounds, in a way we come from a very similar background. Like we've both been very independent. Like I have not had my family helping me financially. He's been doing things on his own as well. So like we had those things in common of just doing things for ourselves. I don't know about culturally, but just like there's nothing between him and I that's a divide, but other people saying and doing things kind of towards us because of our cultural differences. Like that's been something we've encountered.
And you?
I won't say there's much of a difference that comes from because we come from different cultures. Because my lifestyle is pretty much like there's no lifestyle clash. Because we wake up, pretty much everything I would do, she does. So we pretty much just do it together now. Like let's say I would go to work out. If someone doesn't work out, it would be a difference. Maybe the culture thing. Maybe when we went to Kisumu and she saw everything, yeah, like where the kitchen is, how the kitchen for my grandma looks like, the cows, a cat walking around, like the house, the house is made, village life. Maybe that is what you're like, wow, like Africa, yeah. But my personally,
It wasn't shocking though.
it's like wow.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, but like me and her, like there's no much difference. We pretty much live the same.
I like if there is a difference, I welcome it. That's fun. Like life is so boring when you hang out with people who are exactly the same as you, who grew up in the exact same way as you. Like I want him to enrich my life by me seeing our differences and him seeing mine. Like I love introducing him to new things that he's never tried before. It could be as simple as like sushi or something.
Sushi,
like
yeah.
it's so I find joy in that, like introducing each other to things that we haven't seen before because we grew up differently.
Yeah.
So the transportation to and from Kisumu was not so awesome because okay, so we traveled to Kisumu to go to the village where his family lives and then visit a different village where his grandmother lives, which was very villagey for a lack of a better word.
Yeah.
So where his parents are, there's like running water and power sometimes, and yeah, so and it's easy to get transport and there's hotels.
Yeah.
Then we went to his grandmother's place where there's
Mother's mom. Yeah.
no nothing.
No, nothing.
I had to
What do you mean nothing?
well there was an outhouse rather than a toilet in the place. I'm not really used to that. Okay, I am because I've been to a cabin in Canada, but having to okay. This is traumatic actually.
She was scared though.
I was very scared. Having to go pee at night. That is scary.
We had to
Peeing in a hole.
motivate her. We had to be
They
like,
were literally cheering me on, saying, I'm proud of you, you got this.
yeah.
Okay, but actually, the boys were kind of freaked out too. The boys meaning, okay, people are offended when I say that. The men. Teddy, I'm a girl, okay. Teddy and his brother. So late at night when we were in the village that one night, his mom was like, oh, let me show you where you guys are going to sleep tonight. Okay. We had no plans. This was all last minute. We surprised his family anyways. So at about 11 p.m., she walks us to one of the houses in the compound. It belongs to his uncle, but it's pretty abandoned because he doesn't live there. He has multiple homes. And so we're like, whatever, it's just to sleep for the night. Well, I don't know at what point Teddy had put his head on something, but
Yeah, on the bed.
and there's no power or nothing, so there's no way to charge our phones. It's like we're just sticking together. He laid his head down, and then I see the back of his head, and it was gray. Like his hair was gray. And I was like, what is in your freaking hair? Pretty much everything was covered in dust. There was mice running around on the ceiling and like mice poop and and then I heard his brother from the other room say, oh, I am not sleeping tonight. And I was like, what do you mean? And we walk in his room and it was like a horror movie. Kind of. It was scary. And even his brother was scared. So I feel like when the boys are scared, that's making me more scared. Like, yeah, it was not. We didn't sleep.
We didn't sleep.
So we only stayed one night there. I'm very glad for the experience. I learned to make chapo, and it's very beautiful there. And if I came prepared with a sleeping bag, maybe we would have been okay.
Yeah. It was
You enjoy
scary.
village food and village.
Yeah, definitely. And the village where his family lives is like more developed than that. His mom's mom lives somewhere that like no one lives. We can't even get a car or a bike to
Uber,
take us home. Yeah, so it was very, very much remote, which is cool for like a yoga retreat or something, but I need to come prepared next time.
How was the experience with village kids?
The same as with any kids, I guess. I love kids and they're all not used to seeing me, so
Looking at
were
her.
impressed to see Mzungu in the village.
yeah, they were.
They went around her, looking at her, asking her,
Touching my hand.
where are you from?
Yeah. No, what does everyone say to your family now
Okay.
about your home?
Yeah, it's like the home where the white girl is married into.
No, but they say
In Swahili. No, in Luo.
no in Swahili.
Boma nyamewa mzungu.
Yeah, sorry?
Like that's how they refer to a compound now.
Like people.
Like the home where the white girl is.
Yeah.
Mzungu.
Yeah. Boma nyamewa mzungu. Like it's actually not a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even before I went,
And before you
people
went.
were saying that.
They
because
already
they knew
knew.
we were together.
From TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And more experience with village people? Did you?
I think everything. I don't know. I've
charity.
been to many villages even before this. Like I've been to a village in Uganda. I've been like around Kenya quite a bit. So it didn't really come as a shock. It was extra special though to just see where he grew up. Like I don't know. Even on the way there, I was like, something about this is so sweet to me. Just seeing where he's from, and so it was more sentimental than any other experience that I'd had. But it wasn't shocking by any means, and I liked it. I feel like his family is so lovely and welcoming. I love them. They're so kind. It was very obvious when I first met them. We talked on the phone actually before I first met them a couple months ago. But just the way they speak was like, okay, yep. They obviously raised Teddy because he's so soft-spoken as well and kind and gentle with me, and they were the exact same. So yeah, it was a really positive experience.
Would you both consider moving to the village?
Hey.
Why?
No, we're both city people, definitely, and we want to travel anyways.
Travel.
I mean, we are gonna have the hut.
Yeah, okay. So
Okay, we've been joking about
according to
this.
Luo culture, you're supposed to have a hut. It's called a simba.
Yeah.
Where you first, I'm supposed to take her there first. Yeah. So
He told me about this hut about a month ago.
yeah.
He was like, by the way, we're gonna have to build this hut. I was like, well, what's the point? If you don't live there. He was like, we have to sleep in it one time. So I was like, okay.
It's a cultural thing. Yeah.
But now I was like, if my dad hears me say, oh, I'm building a hut that I'm going to like, that word isn't even used in America, a hut. Like, I don't know, we have some jokes about it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, what's the color scheme going to be? Brown or tan or what? Like, I don't know. We just kind of have fun with it.
Yeah.
So that is a cultural difference.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things I'm like, that's so fun that I get to experience that. Whereas he would never experience that if he was living in America and we live in America. Yeah. Well, I didn't take him out of the village. He's been out of the village since 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he went to high school in Nairobi and university.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like. Am I allowed to say that?
I mean, the village is okay if you have like a farm. Like, I'm thinking of that maybe like if you
That's
have
not his
cows.
favorite.
Yeah. Just farming life, but not staying there. We have to work out. We go out. We play basketball. There's a lot of things we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have like any advice for American ladies who intends to date Kenyan men?
Oh, that is strange question. Huh.
What should they expect?
Well, I think it really depends on the person because I can't say that I just associate with American women. Like, I don't think that I'm so much like all American women, just like I don't think he's so much like all Kenyan men. I just am not big on like lumping someone in with a group of people. Even my friends in America, like most of them are not white. So, I guess just, it's like anyone dating anyone from outside of your culture, just be open-minded and like excited to learn about them and their differences. And at the end of the day, if you love someone, I don't think it really matters where you come from and what those differences are, because you can grow together in those. And I also feel like me being more comfortable with like parts of his culture and him becoming more comfortable with parts of mine, it's not like we're losing parts of ourselves. We're like gaining a whole lot. Yeah, so just probably be open-minded.
And you are Tina?
Yeah.
Men who are dating American.
Okay, it's kind of difficult to say Kenyan men dating American women or
That's hard.
interracial couples, because that was not the premise under which me and her kind of decided to come together. It's much more deeper than that, though most people would not understand unless the people are close to us. But because even guys ask me like, tell us the secret, like show us your ways.
Yeah.
People think that you're with her for passport.
For passport,
Talk about
people think I'm with her to get a passport or because she's white. But it goes way deeper than just that. It's much more deeper than that. To a point of asking me, what's your secret? Or what did she see in you? Sometimes you go out and someone shout, what did someone shout? The last time you're out, like passport.
I was walking in front of him and our friend, and I heard these guys be like, oh, green card security.
Okay, security, yeah.
I had a reaction.
yeah, she got mad about that. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, that is so shallow, or to want to, and people are like, I want mzungu, like that is a very shallow point from which you'd express interest in someone. Like you need to know someone. Like it takes a lot. I don't understand how someone
it's weird.
It's kind of weird.
It feels fetishy.
Yeah, it's
honestly.
like I just want one girl.
Give me your friend.
Give me a friend, or give me a sister, like that. No, I'll just say, like, someone asking me, is it because you go to the gym? I'm like, I can't pinpoint. People go to the gym, other people go to the gym. So it's much more deeper than me going to the gym. Or is it because you play basketball? It's much deeper than that.
I had plenty of, okay, this is going to sound bad. I had plenty of options that were black, go to the gym in America.
In America.
It's not about that.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, so I feel like it's much deeper than that. And any advice I would give someone is always trying to find that person. Like first seek God's, like ask it from God. And if you want something, become it. Like, she works out, I work out, like she's pretty much a reflection of who I'm becoming and who I am. Yeah, so just become that. Like you can't be in a relationship and you're still manipulative, or you don't consider your partner's feelings. Like there's all these things people need to work on, and they think I'll just say I want this and I get it. Yeah, so pretty much become what you want. I'm not saying I've become white, no. It's a lot of mental maturity, maybe. A lot of mental maturity. She's into fitness a lot. I'm doing that. So just become what you'd want in someone. Then with God's blessing or God's, like, it comes to you. You attract what you are.
I know we're not answering you very well about like American and Kenyan, like, but we don't actually know anyone that's American dating Kenyan, I don't think.
No.
And I feel like it just is really specific to the person. Like, I don't think just, Americans should date Kenyans or whatever. It's like you should be with the person that's right for you. And I don't think nationality has anything to do with it. At least it doesn't for us. So I feel like we can't speak on that very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Otiena, growing up, did you ever see yourself maybe relocating to abroad?
I didn't. Okay. Growing up, I knew I'd do a lot of things. Super ambitious, a lot of things I want to do, I have a lot of goals. There's a lot of things I want to do. So I knew, not even just US, I knew I would work probably in China, like all over the world. I knew that already from the beginning because I'm very, very ambitious. I'm here, but I don't see myself here. Yeah, so, and I think she could tell that.
We have that in common.
We have that in common.
I don't care to stay in one place, and I don't care to live in America. And lucky for me, he didn't care to either. So that was never a giant concern of mine. Even if people are in my ear about a green card, it's like, Teddy doesn't care to live in America, and he's not getting to go to America because of me, because I don't want to live in America. So that's not really a factor.
Yeah, and even before she was there, I knew I was going to travel a lot for work, a lot, like, yeah, because I'm looking at achieving a lot, because I find life to be, okay, from a philosophical standpoint and religious standpoint, so King Solomon says all is vanity, like, a lot is vanity, almost everything, but just seeking to grow in many ways makes life fulfilling. And so, yeah, and so being at one point now, I knew I'd grow, I knew that already.
Yeah. He's so wise.
What, honey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, have you proposed to her now that you're living with her?
Not yet, very soon.
Are you ready?
I don't want to say the time. I don't say the
He
timeline.
tells people a timeline, actually, but yeah, 100%. I feel like the thought was very scary to me before him, marriage and everything, because of all the things that I've been through, and then he just makes things like so not scary at all. It's like he's the first person I've ever envisioned myself having children with, and regardless of having been in relationships prior and that being a difference for us, like I just knew that I could not have children with the other men that have been in my life. And immediately that was something about him that I was like, oh, like I could have a family with him and I'd want to. That was weird because I had never experienced that before. So I do have a lot of certainty, but I feel like our connection is very spiritual, and it was since day one. And I felt that there was a difference, and like God was showing me this is my person. And that's why, yeah, whenever he's ready, I'm ready. No pressure on it, but I'm happy with what we have now, and I know where it's going.
Okay. Do you have a dream wedding for her?
I have a lot planned for her, a lot, yeah. And I don't tell her, I just know I'll surprise her.
Yeah, he's been saying, he said that I don't get to plan anything for the wedding. He's doing all of it, and it's going to be a surprise.
Okay.
Dream wedding destination. So I actually would prefer a destination wedding. Like, it doesn't have to be, we're both small circle people. We want to be with the people that we actually have relationships with. So like, I don't know, maybe on a beach somewhere. I like Watamu, if it was going to be in Kenya, just putting it out there. But it could be anywhere, because to me it's not about that. It's like a day for us. I'm not big into like having a giant wedding for everyone else. Like, if it's celebrating our love and that day being about our connection, and like whatever he wants and whatever he's happy with would make me really happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And here in Africa or in Kenya, there's dowry payment.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have it in America?
No.
Yeah.
And he and my dad have talked about how these cows are going on a plane.
Yeah, so
We have funny conversations about this with my family.
yeah, so I was telling her dad, I was like, how many cows do you want? Then it's like, cows? Cows.
My brother was like, no, what did my brother say? My brother said the right answer. I was like, my brother's name is Aiden. I said, Aiden, how many cows do you think I'm worth? And then he was like, I feel like there's a right answer to this. You're not worth any cows. And I was like, good boy.
Yeah, but still, which is kind of weird, yeah, because in Africa we pay dowry.
Yeah.
Like you have to,
Culture here.
I know.
Yeah,
and
but-
my dad wouldn't accept anything from him, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, my dad wants me to be with someone who loves the Lord and loves me well and treats me well. And Teddy is all those things. So I already know that my dad really likes Teddy, and we don't live on a farm, so I don't know where the cows would go.
yeah.
And how is that for you, Otieno?
That was interesting, especially a dad telling me, that was like,
Keep your cows.
like, yeah, you can keep your cows. I just want you to take good care of her and protect her and just take care of the, he said, she's my gift or present. I don't remember the exact word, but she was like, just take care of her because I'm giving her to you. Which is pretty, from an objective point, because, you know, you have to think about, men think about paying. It's a lot of money. It's expensive. It's not just even cows. It's cows, money. A lot of things you have to part ways with. So it just makes me even want to make her wedding very special because of even that specifically. I have no reason to not make it special for her. Yeah.
Have you talked it with your parents about the dowry payment?
Yeah.
And how was the response?
I like, okay.
Not
like,
that they don't understand American culture.
Yeah, they don't understand, but it's kind of became a surprising. It's too surprising to them. Like, so he just told you to keep her up. You're like, okay, that's interesting. So there's no paying, like, there's no paying anything. Like, yeah, because, okay, personally, for my daughter, I don't think I would ask for any dowry. I would not, and I'm not justifying that to say I should not be asked for that, you know. I'm just saying what's important is the guy's character. Like, is my daughter going to suffer? Is my daughter going to be crying, or is going to go through pain or mental abuse? I don't want that. You can pay me that, then make my daughter suffer. I don't want that. So probably from a wise point of perspective from the dad side is like, I just want you to take care of my daughter and feel like it's heavier, it's more important than you giving me cows. And I respect him for that, and I just want to give him and her that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Have you introduced her to your family?
Yes. Okay, the first time it was my brother's graduation in ZTech. My mom, dad came. That's when she first met my parents. Then this Christmas, we went home for Christmas. We went
Everyone.
Yeah, she met everyone. Yeah, so she went to my dad's side. We went home, she met my grandma, my cousins, my aunt, uncle. Yeah, then from that side, we stayed there for like 2 days, 3 days,
yeah.
a couple of days, yeah. Then we went now to Oma Bay, or another place in Nyanza. Yeah, that's where my mom's mom is. It's kind of very remote. It was very far. I'd not been there in like, okay, my brother, years, like 5 years, a long time. Yeah, so I didn't even know we were going pretty much, but yeah, I took her there. That's where we slept. Yeah. So she's met all my family members, all of them, everyone.
Actually, I have met like everyone, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, now we are coming to the end of the video. What do you like most about her?
What's one thing I like about Lex, and one thing I find which is very rare to find, is a balance of our feminine and masculine energies. It's like she's very feminine, extremely pretty, but still she's very resilient. You can't stop her. The last year we had like a road accident, whatever, like on Thika Superhighway.
Sorry for that.
It's fine, yeah. So like the way you'd expect a girl to react after being knocked by a car and sustaining injuries, she did not scream or cry. She was very calm. She was trying to check up on me, and I'm trying to check up on her. So you see that, like, that's a bit of the masculine side, like you're calm when things are not okay. Like, that is a balance I find to be very rare, and I think she finds the same in me. Like, as much as I'm all this boxing, I'm fighting, I'm lifting weights, I'm still soft, like kind, all that. So I find that to be very rare in her. Even though she had an injury, she's still playing basketball, doing everything she wants to do. Like, she's not letting that stop her. So the resilience, the hard work, the fact that she studied psychology, so that means I don't really need to explain what I need. See, like most relationships, they like break up because miscommunication, or you don't understand what your partner wants, and your partner doesn't understand what you want. She understands what I want before I even tell her. And it's the same, it goes both ways. Like, we understand each other without speaking, which is very important, and we love and respect each other, and she does all that from an empathetic standpoint. Like, she goes into my shoes and sees what I said you need. The same I do for her, and she affirms me a lot. Like, I'm proud of you, keep on working hard, like for work, working out. Like, normally things which people tell me don't get to me. Like, you can tell me something negative, I won't care. Something positive, I won't care. But she reinforces me in a very positive way always, which I thank her a lot for, and I don't take for granted. So I have a lot of reasons. I won't stop if I start. The fact that
you need to blow on my eyes, because my eyes are getting watery. That's why I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. The fact that she works out, the fact that we both play basketball. So I can't mention everything. Yeah. So I find it to be extremely special. Very, very special.
And you, what do you like?
Oh my gosh.
Most about him?
I also find him to be extremely special, and he even said some of the things I love about him. There's so many things. Like, I really wouldn't change anything, but I think something that I felt is really powerful from him to me is he has made me feel more loved and safe than anyone ever has. And I just feel like he's always going to have my back, and the amount of respect and care he has for me is like beyond. Like you said, we were in a motorcycle accident, and he literally grabbed me and put his life on the line just to protect me. And I don't know. I think something I'm so attracted to is how masculine he is, but how soft he is with me. And he is the first man that's ever been in my life, including friends, family members, exes, that I felt like this is a man who can lead me, and that's what I want, and that's what I feel like is biblical.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I'm an independent woman and we're going to be equals, but I want to be able to like give you that trust to lead me and respect his wisdom. And like, I really do. I respect him so much. And I feel like he is so wise and he can help me grow. And he's the first man in my life who I've ever felt that way towards.
Do you have plans to relocate to US, probably? Or maybe visit?
But yeah.
I won't say relocate particularly, but we'll travel there, maybe to meet a family. But we plan to travel a lot, not particularly stay at one point. We just plan to travel a lot all over the world. But maybe like have homes here in Kenya, maybe back at a place.
Yeah, maybe be there for a short amount of time, but at this time, I don't see us living in the US because I don't see myself living in the US. I do have a contract there that's active that I can go back to if I want to work in the school again. I have another year to decide if I want to go back, but I had 2 years to travel full time. And I do have my own remote business, so I can sustain myself wherever I am in the world, kind of on my own.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what are you intending to travel to? Like, people travel for vacation, other travel for content, other travel for adventure. What's your plan?
I won't say we are traveling for content. It's just for our experience and maybe share a bit of that
Yeah.
on social media. Like, we don't intend to do that for social media.
Yeah.
We just live our lives, because even as much as she does YouTube, I'm also okay about YouTube for a while, but don't post as much. It's hard to record because we're so much into
It's a very small snippet of our lives.
because we're doing a lot together that we don't focus on what we're going to say, what we're doing this now. Just as we just want to enjoy life together, enjoy each other, just be in each other's presence. Yeah. So I would say traveling, it's just to experience the world. There's a lot to see, a lot to learn.
And travel content will come with that.
Around Africa or around the world?
Everywhere.
I'm part Hispanic. My mom is half, and I would love to be fluent in Spanish. My Spanish is not great, but I speak some and understand it a little bit more. So even before he and I were together, I had plans to live in South America for a while. So I would love to go there. Like, my grandfather on that side grew up in Chile, so I would love to go be fluent in Spanish, because also in my work, I work a lot with Hispanic gang-impacted youth. That's what I do in Seattle. So I have a really big passion for working with gang-impacted youth, specifically in Hispanic gangs. So me being fluent in Spanish will be really helpful for my work, and it's just something I want to have in my repertoire anyways. But I would say I prefer less Americanized, less European places, me personally. I think going anywhere with him would be fun, but my plans originally without him were to go around Africa, Asia, and South America. And now it's wherever he wants to go is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And talk about your businesses.
Well, I have my private practice in mental health therapy. So I see clients remotely, and I specialize in a lot of different things, but I would say I feel really comfortable working with clients who have trauma, depression, anxiety. I work a lot with teenagers in Seattle. Like, when I'm there, I work with teenagers in a school, and I love that because I can work with a very diverse population. But in my own business, I have people ranging from 18 years old to 44 right now. Yeah.
And for people who will be watching this and they would love to know you, they would love to work with you or maybe get your services.
Yeah.
How can they get into that?
Thank you for asking that. I've had a lot of people reach out since I started YouTube. Right now, because I'm licensed in Washington, I can only see clients in Washington legally. But I don't know. I feel like things are different here, so I don't know what that could look like in the future. I've talked with a spa here about doing some meditations and guiding therapy groups here in Nairobi. So there might be some other opportunities outside of my business. Right now, my caseload is full with clients in Washington, but that is something.
What about the American fans who watches us?
Well, anyone in Washington can, they can see me. Yeah.
And you talk about your business?
For now, I'm focused on real estate. Like where I stay, I sell homes. I get clients for apartments, and also sell land in Tattoo City. So if anyone is interested in buying plots of land in this place, I think it's a pretty cool place, as you have seen. It's chill, safe, secure. There's a lot. It's a home-based living community. So right now I'm doing that, just diving deep into real estate.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for people who want apartments here or within Nairobi, how can they reach out to you?
They can reach out to me via my social media on Teddy Otieno, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. It's the same anywhere. Yeah.
Link in the description.
Link in the description. Yeah. And for those want to reach out to us, Alexys Christine everywhere too.
Yeah.
Okay, my YouTube channel is Alexys Christine, and it's spelled ALEXYS.Christine, CHRISTINE. And my Instagram and my TikTok are the same. I don't really use TikTok. He's the TikTok one in the relationship.
TikTok. Yeah.
I love you. When they asked my favorite thing about you, I was thinking about how I didn't believe in something or someone like you. You literally are my dream with the way you treat me and the love you give me. It's something I didn't think I'd ever experience. And I'm beyond grateful for you. You make my heart really full. I don't care if we're in the village or if we're in Nairobi or if we're in Greece. It doesn't matter where we are, because I've realized I'm really happy when I'm with you. So much so that I don't even want to travel as much because I miss you too much. So I just want to be where you are, and you're my home, and I love you.
Love you too, Annie. Thank you. Okay, so I didn't see this coming. I couldn't tell when it would come, but you've had so much impact in my life, a lot of positive impact. I thought I was blessed, I thought I was happy, but now I see it from a very different perspective. Like, I thank God for sending you into my life. Like, you're smart, you're pretty, you're everything and more I could ever dream of. And I'm so glad that you fit perfectly into my life. I'm so glad you fit perfectly with my family. I'm so glad you make my life better and you amplify the happiness in my life. I'm so happy you bring me closer to God. Like, it's a lot. I can't mention all of it. So I'm just extremely grateful for our bond, and I hope our bond glorifies God and glorifies our community and makes life better for others, even just outside of us.
Amen, baby.
Yeah, thank you for everything.
You make my life better too. Yeah, I'm sweating.
I love you too. I love you so much, baby.
I love you too.
So cute. Nice.
Okay, thank you guys for watching our story, and thanks for having us and interviewing us. You guys were lovely. Feel free to come over to my YouTube channel to see kind of our funny little stuff that we do throughout the day. It's alexys.christine, and then my Instagram and my TikTok are the exact same, and you guys are welcome there. It's a positive atmosphere where negativity is not welcome, so come on over, and we appreciate all the support.
And thank you so much to Miss RECHE and the YouTube channel. Like, subscribe to the channel. We love how you did this. Like, you're so warm, like, so a really good experience. So subscribe to the channel, subscribe to her channel, subscribe to my channel at Teddy Otieno. Same on Instagram and TikTok, Teddy Otieno. Yeah, and thank you so much for watching and listening to our story. We love you all.